Hello all, welcome to another episode of Chris's Comics. I'm Chris. It's the day after New Comic Book Day, but I had a busy week, especially with work, and had my engagement photos as well, so didn't get to go to the comic book store until today, and I have a couple other things to pick up as well, so I'm excited to go over a few things today. So enjoy. First up, we're going to start with some DC books. So first up, Batman 115. This is a continuation of the Fear State storyline. It looks like from the previews that Batman and Miracle Molly are going to work together a lot in this issue to try to take down the Magistrate. Miracle Molly's been kind of a good story. Like, I really enjoyed her origin issue, Batman Secret Files, Miracle Molly. That was such a great issue, and it shows like her evolution, and I think she's going to be a character that's going to be here for a while. And the other cool thing about this issue of Batman, the backup story in the end of the book is a kind of a preview for the new Batgirl series coming out, starring Stephanie Brown and Cassandra Cain. And I'm excited. I'm going to definitely check that out, see how it is. I'm going to definitely read the kind of the backstory of this, so let's check it out. So as I mentioned, I went to go get my engagement photos taken. I'm getting married next year. And there's this shop in Newington, New Hampshire, called Stairway to Heaven Comics, or Stairway to Comics, or something like that. It's a really nice store. The staff is always so nice. So if you're ever in that area, definitely check it out. It's on the main road. So I was able to pick up Batman 475, which is the first appearance of Renee Montoya in comics. I found it in one of their bins and didn't really have to spend a ton for it. I mean, it's not in the best condition, but I mean, it's definitely a collector's item to have. I also picked up Batman Legends of the Dark Knight number 18, which is the continuation of the Venom storyline. And I picked up the first two parts earlier in September. So I'm excited to get this, and I'm probably going to get the other two issues at some point just to kind of finish up that storyline. Next up, Batman Catwoman number 8. This has been such a great series. Tom King has killed it. The art is fantastic. I love how it's a lot like a very Christmassy story, and like there's a lot of great elements of that in there. Like I think Tom King posted like a picture of a Christmas tree that was used in this, and it just looks so good. The artwork in this issue by Liam Sharp looks fantastic from what I've seen, and I can't wait to read this. It's also been announced that Tom King's kind of partner, who he's worked with a lot, especially with Batman books or Strange Adventures and Mr. Miracle, Mitch Reeves, is going to take on the Batman Catwoman special that the artist, I believe it's John Paul Leon, passed away unexpectedly a few months back. So he's going to take on the rest of that issue for the artwork. So, and he posted that on Twitter, and he is very excited and honored to be able to finish off that story for him. Next up, Nightwing 85 by Tom Taylor. Taylor's been killing it in Nightwing. This has a lot to do with Fear State, but I've also heard that this is a very heavy Batgirl and Nightwing story, and I love them together. I enjoyed their storyline that they had together in Titans, which wrapped up today. It was such a great season finale. I hope that they bring back Barbara Gordon in some capacity. It looks like they're going back to San Francisco, that they're leaving Gotham City, which I appreciate. Like, I understand why they did it for the story-wise, but they've built in a lot of like good characteristics in Gotham in this show, and I feel like they haven't really done that a ton with San Francisco yet. So I'm excited to see kind of where season 4 takes us. But back to Nightwing. This story has been great. I kind of flipped through it a little bit, and there's a couple cool panels in here. And some of the previews for issues coming up, it looks like Dick and Babs are going to really explore their relationship once again. Next up, Batman Secret Files number 1, Peacekeeper 1. This is another kind of like origin story, kind of like what I mentioned about Miracle Molly. Basically the origins of Sean Murphy, who is now Peacekeeper 1. He's been a pretty decent character in the Future State books, as well as so far this series in Gotham. My favorite has been one of the issues of Batman. Harley hears who is Peacekeeper 1, and she's like, he's crazy. He's insane. He was one of the worst guards at Arkham. Like, they made this guy a superhero, and like for her to say that, it kind of reminds me of that episode of Lock Up from Batman the Animated Series, where they're doing like the kind of trial hearing for that guard, and she's just like, he's a maniac, he's a maniac.
It's all true. If we don't speak up now, we'll never get another chance. He threatens us, takes away our privileges, even when we're good.
He held me over a can filled with termites. You hear me? Termites!
He's an animal.
Kind of reminded me of that. Speaking of Harley Quinn, we have Catwoman number 36. This, I almost didn't pick this up, trying to kind of cut back a little bit, but this cover, this was a really nice cover of Harley Quinn. And like the artwork on here is just so incredible. And like, I love the hammer as well. So I'm probably going to put this along with my other Fear State titles, with the Batman storyline going on, because Catwoman is, I believe she is working with Harley right now to try to find the real Poison Ivy. If you've been living under a rock, we know that John Kent is coming out as bisexual in the new Superman Son of Kal-El books. So he's going to come out officially in issue number 5. But this is kind of like, it helps build towards that. I believe his soon-to-be boyfriend, Jay, gets powers in this issue. But this, again, it's been a very solid story since the get-go. I'm very excited to check out this issue. I kind of flipped through it a little bit. I saw the artwork's great, a little bit of Flash in there too. I think he meets up with the League in some point. So I'm very excited to check this out, and I'm very excited for the next issue as well, to have that in my both collection and to be able to read it. John Kent has been a great story, not just from Superman, but as well as the previous Superman run when Rebirth first started. I love him with Damian Wayne. He's been one of my new favorite DC characters. I'm excited for him to kind of explore who he is. Next up, Flash 775. Wally's been doing good as Flash. I've never really read too much out of Wally as the Flash. He was my Flash like before the Flash came out, because mainly the Justice League Unlimited cartoons where Wally West was the Flash, which, I mean, that's who the Flash is to a lot of us, and that is exactly why he's the Flash to a lot of us, that Justice League cartoon. He's been good as the Flash in this main title, and I'm excited to see kind of and explore where he goes through here. He's been working with Mr. Terrific. He's had a couple good fights. Next up, we're going to switch over to Marvel. So we have United States Captain America number 5. This has been an excellent series. Each issue basically creates or introduces a new version of Captain America, not specifically like Steve Rogers, Sam Wilson, stuff like that, but like a new version. So someone who picked up a shield, trash can, whatever, and used that symbol of Captain America for what they needed. And they've been trying to chase down someone who's been after Captain America or Captain Americas. And it's been an interesting story. I'm excited to kind of read this issue. It's the last issue before the next Captain America title, which I don't know if they've officially announced a Captain America title, or I know that there's an Iron Man Captain America story coming out with Alex Ross doing the covers for that. So I'm kind of interested to see where this story ends and what the next step is. Next up, Thor number 18 with this beautiful Throg cover. We had that little Easter egg of Throg in the 5th episode of Loki. And I've always enjoyed when you see those little cartoons, or even like in Spider-Ham, because I read that a few when the last series came out. I think Throg, my apologies, is such a cool dynamic of, and it is such a different version of Thor, or at least who, like a variant or something, or however they do it. I just think it's so cool, and like, of all things, like he's a frog, and I think that's just the coolest thing, and I'm so excited that Donny Cates is writing this. Last up for comics, Star Wars The New Republic number 10. This has been really good. I haven't really kept up a lot recently. I did try reading the War of the Bounty Hunter storyline, but I felt like there was a lot of issues to that. Like, I know Fear State has a lot of issues, like they have Catwoman, Batman, Nightwing, all these one-shots and stuff like that. But I feel like sometimes with Marvel, they just do so many extra tie-ins. Like, they're so extra. Like, it's this story about Carnage, but let's talk about a Iron Man and Doctor Doom story along with Santa Claus. Like, sometimes these tie-ins don't really do too much for me, and that's kind of what stopped me from reading War of the Bounty Hunters. Like, I thought it was an interesting concept. Like, what happened in that like year and a half between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi? Like, what happened to Han Solo? Like, we know he got to Jabba the Hutt, but did anything else happen in that? I thought that was such an interesting concept, and it's just hard to keep track of all those issues. It just really is. So I unfortunately dropped that, and I'm probably just going to wait for like the big trade paperbacks or something like that to catch up on that story. So I'm going to talk a little bit about stuff other than comics that I picked up this week. So as you see behind me, I have this little bell thing, which is actually the replica of the Batman the Animated Series grappling hook. I love it. I love sitting at my desk over here and just, I have a coat rack behind me, and I just love just leaning back and just shooting it off. So as soon as this was announced, I definitely had to get it. I don't have the batteries yet, so I can't give a full demonstration, but it is the Batman 89 replica grappling hook. Batman 89 is probably my favorite Batman movie. It's just Keaton, man. I still remember watching it as a kid. I couldn't get past Jack falling in the acid because I was just that afraid of clowns. And it wasn't until like a while afterwards where I finally was able to watch past that scene. And it's just, I've been in love with that ever since. I'm so excited to see Michael Keaton return as Batman. That Flash teaser, man. It was so good. But again, I can't really fully demonstrate this. Should be getting the batteries. Thank you, Amazon, tomorrow. So I might bring this up a little bit next week just to show it off. But it's just so cool. Like, look at the detail in that. Like, the grappling hook is like nice and shiny. Like, the hook itself is actually nice and shiny. And I just love like the details here. Like, it doesn't actually have the string, but it's just such great detail. Like, it literally looks like the grappling hook that he used in the film.
Hold on.
And I do like the fact that it kind of, this flips down and it almost is like a good handheld, which I don't think they ever really showed in the movie. I think it was more of this, but it's still such a cool detail and something like an Easter egg of something that you've never seen or never even thought of. And I'm so excited to have this in my collection. Something else I'm very excited to finally have in my collection. I think I ordered this back in December or January when it was first announced. And I'm so excited to finally get this. It is the Diamond Collection Hot Topic exclusive Goku, who is nice and shiny. I don't know how well you can see it through the light. I'm probably going to end up taking this out of the box, but I just picked this up. Well, actually, I just got it shipped to my house. I am so excited to have this. Dragon Ball Z is like my anime. Like, it was almost the only thing I ever watched when I was a kid, like anime wise. And I always loved it. Me and my friends used to pretend fight Dragon Ball Z in the playground, and I loved it so much. So I'm excited to have this, and I cannot wait to display this. I am contemplating whether or not I'm going to pull this out or not, just because I don't want to mess up too much of the little glitter diamond thingies. But I'm so excited to finally have this. When it got to my door, I was like, yes, finally. Last up, I don't collect Yu-Gi-Oh cards that often, but when I do, it's for a specific reason. I think I've bought maybe 2 packs in the last like 10 years, but I bought in a few like structure decks recently, like kind of like what the bread and butter of my childhood is like that whole first season, that whole first series of Yu-Gi-Oh. So a couple months back, they announced 2 Egyptian god decks, Slifer and Obelisk, which I definitely picked up. And like, if I was 10, 12 years old and had these, I would kick everyone's butt on the playground playing Yu-Gi-Oh. So I saw online that this got announced, and I really wanted it because I did watch GX occasionally, but not like religiously. I don't think I've watched every single episode, but I always thought Zane's deck was the best. So when this got announced, like, I definitely wanted to pick this up because nostalgia. Most of this stuff is for nostalgia purposes, and it's just awesome. So, first of all, got some really cool card sleeves of the 3 Egyptian gods. So this is the Cyber Strike structure deck. Now, I remember when I was a kid, a lot of the structure decks that came out, they would have like a couple cards that went along with the series, and then they would just have like kind of crap. But this, I flipped through this, and this thing is bitchin'. Cyber End Dragon. I always wanted one of these. It's definitely probably one of my favorite cards. This deck does make it a little tough to summon it because it only gives you one legitimate Cyber Dragon. It comes with the other ones like Dragon's Way. But having this in my possession, I am stoked about it. I always wanted this, and I'm excited to finally have it like in my hands. Like I honestly cannot believe I'm holding this. Those are some of my pickups from this week. I am very excited to film my video for next week because I have a few things coming. My fiance just took a trip down to Florida, Disney, and has something coming for me, and I am so excited to show it off. So I cannot wait to post my next video. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this, if you have any of the things that I have. Always up for a good chat. Feel free to like and subscribe and leave comments. Enjoy, and thank you for watching.